Hi guys. Let's give it like 1 more minute for everyone to join, and then we will start with our today's seminar. So share my screen already with you, or the slides. Yeah, but I think we can start, and who's still joining us, I will let them in. Yeah, so hi everyone, and as you know by now, we'll start with a little introduction. So you can use again the annotate tool, which is on the bar somewhere there. And once you click on the annotate, then this other bar opens and you can choose the stamp from there. And you can answer like, how are you doing? How are you? So you can already start stamping and letting me know how you are, while I'm still letting in a few more people who are joining us. So some of you are tired, as I can see, but I'm very happy that some are also interested and curious. I guess they're, optimistic as well. There were little dots, I wasn't sure. Enthusiastic. Someone's confused. Let me know if I can, help somehow with that, answer the questions about the seminar or course, perhaps. Still people joining. Yeah, but you can do the stamping. Oh wow, there's a dolphin. That's really cool. A cheerful dolphin, as I understand, because in the cheerful box or circle, to be precise. Awesome. There's a drawing coming. There's an anxious, I see, a face. Yep. That's really cool. Yeah, I can see that you're tired, or at least some of you are tired. I can totally relate to that. Also, the weather here in Tallinn is somehow gloomy and dark. Oh, someone got COVID. Yeah, I hope you get better and yeah, nothing too bad. Oh, there's also a little flower. Yeah, but those of you who are ill or tired or so, yeah, I hope you get better and it won't be too long or too much a hassle. But I'm also happy that some of you are interested and optimistic. There's someone still trying to join us. Yeah, so there's someone still drawing. Thank you for this, and as you know, I guess by now I have to unfortunately I have to erase it all and clear it all to be able to move on, because otherwise your nice drawings will come to other slides as well. So thank you for your sharing how you're feeling, letting me know. So if you have any questions or worries regarding the course or seminar, let me know. You can write in the chat the questions, or if you don't want to discuss them here, you can always email me. Yeah, and you can, throughout the seminar as always, you can write your questions in chat and I will answer them. I don't see any questions or worries at the moment in the chat. So I guess you don't have questions right this moment, or so we can move on. And you know the drill by now. So first of all, let's try to remember what we did last time, what we discussed last time. So let's recap a bit. We will do it again in Mentimeter. So please go to menti.com. You can use your smartphone or your desktop, however you prefer. And I will change what I'm sharing with you so that we can see the Menti. And you can see the code up here. It's 72385442. So please go to menti.com, enter the code, and let me know what you remember from the last time. It's not definitely, it's not a test, you know. It's so no worries. I'm just curious if you even what you remember from last time, and or what was your takeaways, or what was interesting for you, or just to do some a bit of sharing. Yeah, that's the code there. Building a business, yeah, definitely. We spoke about the business model canvas, right? Which is a tool that companies can use for when they're modeling their business idea, to see all the necessary blocks there, and it's a visual tool, so you can have a good overview of everything. Yeah, the parts there were desirability, feasibility, and viability. Yeah, exactly, the business model canvas. Can't remember, that's also okay. This is why we do the recap, so it helps you to remember how to address your potential customer. Yep. Yeah, and also related to the business model canvas, I showed you a canvas which is sort of building on it, but which is adjusted for culture projects that you can also use for your culture projects, to have this kind of concise overview of all the crucial building blocks. So yeah, production pipeline. Yep. We spoke about it before we started with the business model canvas. Sort of to think through the activities that you need to take. Like, for example, the production pipeline could be that you start with research and development, working with the idea, then comes the production. So what you need to do to produce your product or service, the marketing, how to let your potential customers know what you're doing. Then after the marketing in production pipeline, for example, comes sales. So which channels you're going to use, how you're going to do your sales, and also it's important to remember the service. So how you service your customer also, perhaps after they have bought something from you. So yeah, this was the production pipeline. Defining business goals. What are the main goals of the business? Yep. Good. That's very good. And we also spoke about financing. I see from my notes here that we discussed that there are different ways that financing can be challenging for CCI companies, but there are actually different ways to finance your creative ideas and creative business ideas, and that there are some decisions that you need to take regarding whether you would like to, if you're up to sharing the ownership of your company, for example. So this is this equity financing that you get an investor. So Sorry, there's something calling. Yeah, so the equity, but the investor comes that they give you money, they make an investment, but they also take part of the ownership. Or if it's a debt-based funding or financing that you would like to use, meaning usually taking the loan from a bank. But this again means a monthly payback. So, there are pluses and minuses to everything. And then we also discussed the crowdfunding, that this is also something that creative companies can do if you have a creative idea, that before you really invest your own money or time, that you can sort of market the idea on the crowdfunding platform and then see if people would like to invest in it and give you money. I see there's a question to have a class next week during the intermediate week. We have seminar planned for next week, yes. But if it's, I don't know about the intermediate week actually, how it is in your university. If it's a trouble, or I guess we can perhaps discuss it later with the study department as well. But in principle, yeah, we have a seminar next week as well. Yeah, but we can perhaps discuss it later. If we can talk with the study department as well. Okay, so I think that's good recapping. Thank you. Let me put my slides back. And does this mean, this vahenädal or this intermediate week, does this mean that you actually have like a break, that you do not have any seminars or lectures, so there shouldn't be any studying?
Basically, it's like exams and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. Let me think about it and how to do it the best. Would it be an option, for example, that next week you watch some videos yourself? Or because otherwise our course, the whole course would be a week longer if you're not going to have a seminar next time. Yeah, so I guess this is something we can discuss. I see one response in chat as well. So I will think about it. I will discuss with the study department and then we will let you know how we're going to do it exactly. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but to move on from the recap. So the plan for today, what we're going to discuss and talk about today, we move to the next phase in the creative value chain. So we talk about the distribution, meaning getting your product or service out there, right, for your customers so that they can buy it or use it. Yeah, we're going to discuss some topics related to that, which are important to know. So first of them is the digitization and the CCI. Then we will continue a bit with marketing and the CCI. This is something that you already did last time as well. You thought about who's your customer and which channels you're going to use. But today, hopefully, we're going to watch a video about it or learn about how one creative entrepreneur is doing his marketing and what are his takes on it and principles. So hopefully it will inspire you as well. Then we will also discuss a bit about the pitching of your CCI business idea. And then also we will talk about scaling and exporting in the CCI. So these are the topics for today that we're going to cover. And yeah, I would say let's start with the first one, which is the digital change in the CCI, which I'm sure you know you all have experienced yourself as well, that the way we consume culture products or creative products, it has changed due to all the new digital possibilities and options. So the big takeaway from this part is that the digitization process, that it has a significant impact on the CCI value chain, that the whole value chain. And we will dig a bit deeper into to see, you know, how exactly it has impacted and influenced the CCI. Yeah, so the new technologies, the new online platforms and so on, so the dissemination channels, they help creatives. And in which ways they can help the creatives, the creative companies and the creative people. So one thing, a big change is that these new technologies and channels, they help creatives to be more independent, and more specifically to be independent from traditional gatekeepers, so the decision makers, whether your creation is going to be produced or published. So traditionally, you know, we have those decision makers, the gatekeepers, for example, a publishing house who decides whether the book you've written, for example, whether they're going to publish it or not. But these new technologies and platforms, they give creatives a possibility to go around those gatekeepers. And, you know, if a publishing house, for example, decides that they will not publish your book, you can use the self-publishing tools and platforms, and you can still do it yourself. So, you know, you're not dependent anymore so much of those traditional decision makers or gatekeepers. Also, these new technologies and channels, they help to facilitate access to finance. And this is something that we already touched upon last time as well. For example, these crowdfunding platforms, that they're online, digital, that you can reach a lot of people quickly and see if they would like to finance your creative idea. So this these new technologies, they also increase the access to finance for creative companies, which is good, right? And also, if we think about the creative process, creative something, then these new online tools, technologies, channels, they allow these new forms or new kinds of cooperation or co-creation formats. So that if you can co-create, for example, with your customers in a way that you can, use the social media to quickly get feedback on your product or service or your creative idea, you know, whether they like it or not, or how they would like to improve it or change it, or what you should do next, for example. So you can, get like this inspiration or input from your potential customers or your partners. So yeah, this new means for co-creation are relevant. And also, sort of similarly, these new technologies, they support setting up collaborative networks. So, when creatives want to engage, discuss, for example, with other creatives, what they're doing, or filmmakers speak with other filmmakers, you know, what they're doing, what inspires them, in which direction they're moving. So, you know, to create also this kind of professional networks, it's much easier than it was before, because you do not really have to, you know, travel to meet with people. You can, you know, do it online. So this is all great. And also, you know, cutting out this middleman or this gatekeeper or the decision maker. It's called disintermediation. So we cut out the intermediary. We won't need it anymore. We can, you know, self-produce, self-publish. And this brings creators, you know, closer to the customers, because they can, you know, be in contact with them more directly, reach out to them better. It also reinforces the personal engagement and helps to avoid big selling costs, because, you know, we cut out the middleman, we can do it directly ourselves. So we can decide how much, you know, money we have to invest or bid into, and it doesn't have to be so expensive. For example, also that the format can be digital of your work in a way, and you do not have to, you know, for example, publish all the books, print them on paper, which may be more expensive than publishing something only online. So yeah, this disintermediation, cutting out the middleman. And also when we talk about the distribution in the CCI, then this digital change, it helps and creates opportunities for better distribution in the CCI. For example, exactly, you know, selling and promoting their works online, which means it's faster and cheaper. You can do it yourself. It's a quicker way to reach people. Also, it's easier to find new markets and target audience for your creative products and services, especially if you have a niche product, because you can do it online, right? You can reach them across the globe in that sense rather fast. Especially, yeah, if you have a niche product, you know, for example, you have a pink designed glass bottle that you know, sell. It's very, you know, distinctive. And if you think about your homeland, for example, if you think about Estonia, it's, you know, 1.3 million people something. So, you know, how many of them will need this pink designed glass bottle, right? Perhaps not so many, but if we think globally, there are billions of people. So around the globe, there altogether, there may be, you know, quite many people who would need and want your pink design glass bottle. So you can reach them really quickly to these online channels and digital options. Also, the cross-border cooperation is easier if you think about, you know, for example, that you have partners abroad. For example, you wrote a book and you would like to print it, you know, in some other country. There's a print house that, you know, does a really nice, you know, some kind of laser cutting or something that specifically you want. So you cooperate with someone abroad, but because of the, you know, the digital channels, you can really reach them quickly, daily basis. You do not have to travel and so on. Yeah, and of course, increasing the visibility of the creative brands in social media. This is also very helpful and good opportunity for the CCI companies. But there can be some challenges related to this digital change. And they can be, you know, one of those things is that your income as a creative may be hindered by this sharing everything for free world, you know, that you create some content, something creative, and then, you know, on social media, wherever, they just share it, and, you know, it goes out there, and you know, you may lose money on it. But this is something, you know, to figure out. Perhaps it's something you can tap into and use as a marketing option, you know, that you take this as an option to market yourself, but this can be a challenge with this sharing everything online. Yeah, and also due to this digital change, this is also something that we spoke about when we talked about the creative core and the self-management, or how you have different roles and different skills that you need to have to be successful in this digital ecosystem, this digital world now. The creators also need to master an increasing mix of abilities. Also these technical skills that in addition to creative skills, you also will need technical skills. So this can also be a challenge or something to think about in advance. Yep. And now I would like us to, continue on the topic, but do it so that we watch a video about it. And yeah, I advise you to also take notes during the video, so that later on you will get a chance to work with your own business model again, and then to understand if and how this digital change also affects your business model. So I advise you to take notes, and let's listen to or watch a video. Let me find it and share it with you. It's this one. I hope you can hear. Let me know in chat if for some reason you can't hear it or there's trouble viewing the video. But otherwise, yeah, let's watch the video, and I advise you to take notes.
Adapting to digital change. One of the greatest disruption which is happening with value creation
Oops, sorry.
Is digitation, or influence of the online culture and in general digital culture on the creative industries. Why? Because there are multiple ways how digital change affects the whole value chain. Let's start with the consumer, with the customer. Now, with so many screens that we are looking at, such a variety of the content that we are receiving, the consumers are changing the ways how we consume cultural products, and it affects the whole value chains across different segments, across different markets. There is no need to tell about different tablets or iPhones or other smartphones that we're using, and we're using them in different ways and in different timings and different situations. So it's the customer behavior is affected. Then the next impact of the digital change on creative industries value chain is the access to information. Where and how we access information, what are the platforms out there, repositories that people, consumers, are actually tapping into. It also affects how and where cultural projects should be available for consumers. It's not only about the behavior, it's also about their information resources where these newly changed customers are going for their cultural products. The third digital change is the change in the culture of consuming of cultural products. If previously it would be quite straightforward that we would read a book or we would go to cinema to consume cultural product as movie, now it's not that obvious. We might go to cinema theater to consume opera performance, and it's quite normal to go to see online stream from the great venues for new ballet or opera, and it's quite fine. Or we're fine in watching, let's say, TEDx. You go, you see some people live, but some you watch from online, which are screened in the audience. So it's a new culture of consuming cultural content. You might read book, but alongside you are flipping through the notes on your on your gadget, on your phone, where you want to see something you don't understand from the book. So you have printed book alongside your phone, smartphone, and it creates a different culture. Also, that the bus rides, etc., now became suddenly available for consuming cultural products. And so the fourth change that affects the value chain in the creative economy is in fact the promotion, how the operators, how the players along the value chain are outreaching to these new customers which have different information sources and repositories, and who change their culture in how they consume these products. So the promotional strategies should also be adapted to this digital change which is happening along us. So if we look again, coming back to our original idea of the value chain, the customers are changing, then the distribution is also changing, then the industrialists have to adapt because the end of the value chain is changing so fast, and the players along the value chain are changing. So the value chains are disrupted. Think about different platforms. We'll come that to in a minute. And then also the artists, they also should adapt, and they are adapting. Some of them are just bypassing all the publishers, all the distributors, and going straight to their consumers because they have self-publishing tools, they have all the social media to promote their work. So how does it affect your business, your model of operation of your cultural organization or creative enterprise? That's an interesting question, and you need to think about. One of the major or most evident manifestations of the digital change in the value chain in the creative economy is emergence of platforms. Platforms are all over us. If you think about how customers, where customers are engaged, Facebook or other social media, Twitter, we're all there. And in fact, it's multi-billion companies which control the right to access to their audiences, and in fact, who sees what to a large extent. So they are in the control of this segment. If you think about distribution, where would you put your book most likely these days? Amazon.com, if you want to reach this audience. So it means that Amazon.com controls and can in fact dictate what are the terms and conditions that how your cultural product would reach your desired audiences, customers. Same concerns video games. There are just a number of platforms where distribution is happening. Or think about even mobile apps. You would, again, Google Play, an app store. These are the ones that you have to be, because otherwise, well, there are no other ways how you can reach your audiences if your cultural product is actually a certain app. So platforms dominate the market, and it means that your business model also have both embrace and in fact compete with platforms. Why embrace? Because the audiences like the platforms, they are there. The audience is there, it means it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. More and more people come there, we're getting smarter and using these platforms, and platforms actually also becoming smarter in how they interact with users. So you have to be there. But on the other hand, you need to compete, because your most valuable customers are those whom you can communicate directly. So it's your newsletter subscribers, it's customers of your own app, it's audiences who you can interact physically, who know you by the first name. So don't dwell only on the platforms, because platforms then control your value chain. In fact, do think how you can create in a smart way your own audience that you control and not platforms. Digital change also affects business processes. We were talking about this when we were referring to product-based companies. So because when you're product-based companies, you have different business processes, from production of a cultural product, then marketing it, selling it, and then dealing with the customers after sales process, so-called. And digital change affects all of those processes. Marketing, obviously you need to deal with the platforms, just earlier mentioned. engaging audiences on those platforms, outreaching in new interesting formats, putting out their videos, interactive formats, various multimedia experiments in order to attract audience to your cultural product. But then if you're talking about the even the most cultural innovative business processes, let's say preservation or museification or even analysis or digitation of art collections. Well, the digital is also there because the processes are now digitized. There are certain techniques, certain platforms and software that you have to use, and then it has to be linked with the same marketing effort. So it has to be compatible. The business processes should link up, and analog business processes should be converted to digital ones because that's what customers want. That's what they are looking for. Then whole operations also have to adapt to changes. It's not enough anymore just to come to a festival to hear the music. People are also interested in having an app in order to know what they're listening, and it has to be interactive and interesting, not just an app. It has to be the app that is engaging, interesting, and people want to use. If there is a book festival, for example, it's also not enough just to have some list of venues. You want to interact online while you are being physically with books at the event, interacting with authors, with artists, with publishing houses, but you also want to do something in your gadget while you are there. So, and the organizers have to provide this experience. It means that all their back-end operations have to be online too, to make it easier to put it in different formats and different gadgets to their customers. And of course, the distribution is now also online, even if you are not on the platform or you have your own distribution channel. So how your customer relation management CRM system is interacting with CRM systems of your bookstore partners. Let's say if we're talking about book industry, that's important. Is there interoperability issues? It's essential that you know how digital change, how you adapt to this digital change that you have to adapt to. And then of course it's business models, because now people pay online. Maybe they can pay online to you too for your products that you offer there. Maybe they want to put money via crowdfunding platforms, and there are multiple models and ways how crowdfunding can work. You will find some links below that you can refer to and get more information onto. There are plethora of different platforms and different modes for crowdfunding that you can use these days, and you can amend your business model, maybe perhaps with some of the crowdfunding activities out there. So again, the business processes of cultural organizations, creative enterprises are greatly affected by digital change, all of them. And there should be a master plan how you adapt to digital change in your organization.
Okay. Yeah, let me put my slides back. Yeah, so I hope it was interesting for you, and it, also already touched upon the marketing and how this digital change, it really affects everything if you start to think about it throughout your business model. And also when we think about the business model canvas that we spoke about last time, all the blocks there, you should also think through if some of them are affected or influenced by this digital change, or should be, and in which way. Okay, we should have a break in 6 minutes, and the next topic is marketing, and we will also, because we already discussed it a bit, and we are going to watch, as I said, a video which I hope inspires you so that you can learn from an actual case study. But we will not be able to watch this video in 6 minutes. So I propose that we take a break now, and once we come back from the break, we can start with watching the video. So we will start again 10 minutes past 1. Okay, I'll write it also here in the chat. And I will also put the link to the slides here in the chat where today's slides are as well. And there's also the link to the same video that we saw as well. So you can, if you want later on, rewatch it, or you will have access to it. Okay, but we will. I will see you in 15 minutes. Okay, and let me know in chat if you have any questions in the meantime. Okay, so now it's 10 minutes past 1. So we can continue. And yeah, as promised, we will continue with marketing, the topic of marketing. And this time it won't be me telling you the theory, but I think it's more interesting and more inspiring, I would say, for you to hear it from someone who's actually daily doing it, the creative entrepreneur himself. So we will do individual work again. So I advise you to take notes. We will watch another video, and this is about how Tanel Veenre, as a creative entrepreneur, how he's approaching marketing, what he does, what he thinks is important, and so on. So I hope this video inspires you, and also again take notes so that later on when you do the group work, that then you can perhaps be inspired and get some ideas how to update your business model or the marketing side of it as well. But yeah, so let me again change my screen, what I'm sharing with you, and let's watch the video. So it's here.
So definitely we are very story-based brand. We sell a lot our stories through the visual identity. So it's definitely my own aesthetical preferences and my background as an artist. So having a lot of connections to art history, creating this kind of fairy tale-ish experiences or little short visual stories. I think Renaissance paintings, for example, can be a reference, like all the like the type of the models I'm using, the colors, how the skin is lighted. All this gives a specific and unique touch. So it's pretty rare. Like, I mean, let's say in the jewelry also, when I started to export, I realized how different actually the visual identity is. So there is some kind of expectation and there's some kind of lot of cliches. So if you do differently, it's good and bad. It's good because you are distinguishable and people remember you. It's bad or hard to actually get out because first you're a little bit like you're a stranger. So that has been a huge struggle for me, how to balance between these artistic ideals and market expectations. Yeah, and then just like social media, how much it has started to influence. So I'm like, for example, casting like the model, I found it from the Instagram, but just like it seemed like it's a perfect fit for my brand, for my story. So I did a photo shoot with her. So this kind of, I mean, connected with life. This is like art piece with her, and kind of, yeah, we did a campaign under the water just to have this also this surreal, otherworldly feeling, which is essential for my brand. I want people to dream. Yeah, a few more just different campaigns from the last year. That was really nice collaboration with brilliant photo artist. So a lot of collaborations with other artists, I think, has kept the image of the brand really fresh. And as you probably see, I have how to say, I have branded the color. So it's again like a smart move. Like again, if I look Estonian market, so I understood first that like, okay, my things are very colorful and I can really use it as a kind of marketing tool. And I have been more and more conscious, like working with Pantone, giving kind of really color-based compositions, style tips. So we really have branded, like if consumer is thinking about the color, and if a woman needs something, accessory, certain color, then she should have in the head immediately like my brand name. So that's the, like, we have started really to push the color as a concept. So that's also kind of a smart move. I mean, as you see, so yeah, the women always want to play with a hair color, the style, the clothing, the skin color. So it really has helped us to establish the identity. So it is more and more color focused. So another topic, which I really briefly cover, is fashion, which I've been also kind of flirting over the years. It has helped us to, I mean, fashion is sexy. A lot of brands, whatever you create, sneakers or phones or some kind of like table beer, very often the brands can get connected with the fashion because it has this sexiness and it has a sex appeal for a media, I would say. So it's easy way to get into the media through the fashion. So I have been using it a lot because my best friends are fashion designers. Creating events, also super important is to have like everyday new visual. So it's a good way to get, like, I go to the backstage and I do some with my iPhone, I do a lot of photos. So I have for a week something to feed my social media. So it helps a lot because this has become a huge rush. Like every day you try to invent like, what else can I post? Because yeah, without posting you're dead, more or less. And I'm also doing like huge fantasy pieces which work brilliantly with the brand because all the photographers and stylists, they go crazy for these pieces. They're just very photogenic. So I'm kind of like, how to say, I create haute couture to sell perfumes model in a way. So to sell this €59 product, I create a lot of exceptional and unique pieces. So they also end up in books, in museums, in art shows. They are shared in social media, which ever wouldn't happen with the just usual normal product. So this is somehow how to get a name out there. And also I started flirting fashion, and last year actually, a little bit more, 2 years ago, I did my like fashion collection, and now this is also a new journey. So I have like the silk, a huge range of silk products. So I do my patterns, I use my own symbolia, so telling the story on the silk, using the colors, which is the identity of the brand. So kind of everything comes together. And yeah, having all kinds of fantasies for the shows. So last year we had a 10 years anniversary. So we did a huge event. It was just lucky because between the two COVID waves, it was end of August. So it was the only month maybe when people could breathe more normally. And then I did this huge event just to get publicity and also kind of connect with my community, because I think community building has become essential for a brand. So you really have to feed your community with fresh ideas and new stories. So I think, yeah, selling and community building is really linked. It's really, really essential. So I'm sure that in a few years it's huge trend which is starting off in Europe. It's in China already really, really big. So the sales are done inside the community, and people are kind of references to each other. So it's more and more process of getting connected with your clients. So we did this book as well, which I sent to all my clients, again, like to tell my story, to have my unique vision. So it was a huge effort. So visibility, which I briefly touched. So definitely, like, the fashion has been great influence. I mean, creating these Insta filters doing these huge headpieces for big fashion magazine shoots has helped. And it's also like, the thing is, it helps me to get other stories connected with my brand. So I'm not controlling these, I'm giving away pieces, and I get the most interesting, most different visuals back to me. So which I can again use for social media promotion. I mean, I have done like the cabaret or theater, like burlesque theater in Paris. I did this head pieces. I mean, it's just marketing project. I mean, it takes time and it doesn't pay back, but yeah, sometimes these things pay you back in another way, like in marketing ways. Yeah, using all kinds of actresses, singers, known and loved personas to get things out. So that's the kind of everyday life for a brand. We are just feeding the stylists and also celebrities. I don't know, like yeah, yeah, everyone should have my products. So, and also, I think social media has changed the perception of the brand, so that people really want to see the real, how to say, traces, or people look for sincerity. So they don't want to see like polished, photoshopped photos. So they love, like, for example, huge trend right now is like elderly people. And I see it really on the responses of my audience or community. So, I mean, for example, the on the left, this is like a really known poet in Estonia, writer. And I mean, when she was wearing these earrings, I mean, this photo got so much more attention than any model photo. And also the making of and the studio. And I mean, this is like two examples. On the left is this, I mean, typical boring fashion photo, which I did myself, and just to have the products visible. And on the right is just one photographer did a photo shoot with her grandmother. And I mean, of course, on the right is the picture everyone loved. And on the left is the picture that people really didn't respond. It doesn't create this emotional bond. I think creating emotional bond has become also really essential to have a successful reach and campaign and sales in the end. Another example from the last year, we used this Corona. Somehow, I mean, we have to adjust with the situation, which probably you also had this challenge. And then we did quarantine campaign. So in the time when we couldn't organize a photo shoot, we couldn't do any fashion show, I just did a bag with my new collection. I gave it to one of Estonians, like indie singers. I gave this bag behind her door. She was living with these pieces for a week. Her husband was doing just random home photos of her wearing my fashion and jewelry. And that was very successful, campaign or project. Like, it's a real life. So people really get excited, involved, because everybody has this COVID shit. So that's a good way to make something out of it. And I mean, sharing the stories. So we have this Be Inspired, as you see on this is our online store. And Be Inspired is on the up there. So that's the place we are blogging constantly. So it creates also this community building, or yeah, it is really about it. So we share all kinds of stories behind the best of photo shoots, what is happening in China, the new series. So yeah, I think this is like, as a brand, you have to create the content, not just the product, because the products doesn't sell without the content. So the storytelling helps us to create the content. And also, like, huge trend, which I'm hitting off. I started in China to do the sale lives, but I'm sure that like in 2 years in Europe or America, it will be much more bigger, like because the social media is getting more and more commercial. So the lives, you're doing your own like TV shop, more or less. It's really, in China, all the sales are actually rooted there. So you really open up the collections, you share the inspiration, you show the real product to people. Like, this is how it looks like. This is like from the back side. This is from the front side. And this is how heavy it is. You have some model maybe there, you try it on. So people really want to have this real life interaction. And this is a huge trend right now. I mean, in Instagram, we are a little bit starting off with this as well for your like home market. Client letter is still working for us. It's a little bit like going down because of so much information, but still we have like the best, how like 50% of the people have been opening. So as you see, I'm very open with my numbers. I'm not hiding anything. So yeah, we write something like 20 plus letters to our 2,500 addresses. And I mean, of course, the sales are always the most opened client letters, where is this percentage, like 50% off or something, which I don't do much. I'm doing a big sale twice a year, and I'm really trying to sell my products with a full price, and I'm succeeding with it. So don't do too much discounts. You ruin your clients. And yeah, so you see this being most, and of course the unique clicks is the most important conversion, because it means these are the people who ended up in our online store. So because in the end of the day, you want to create sales, you want to sell your products. Charity has become part of our DNA. We are doing it very conceptually. So we have 5 or 6 organizations now. We collaborate. So certain products, like 20% always goes to these organizations. It's definitely also marketing. And this is also a huge trend probably you will see next years, like charity marketing. But it's really like making the world a better place as well. And actually, I think it's very, very nice if you, like the certain products are connected with certain charity, because people, when they do the purchase in my online store, they know already that they are supporting some some kind of diseased kids or troubled families or LGBT community or something like that. So you're kind of educating people as well, which I'm really like taking as a mission. So 3D printing and also like ethical aspects has become more and more. I did a client survey like 2 years ago, and it was one of the least important key points to my clients. They didn't care much actually the ethical aspects, but I think it's rising. So it was much more about the design, the uniqueness, the story, the colors or the stylistic aspects. So the client service, but now I think it's really hit.
Okay, so I hope it was inspiring for you, to hear and see how someone's actually doing it on a daily basis, and then what are their, strategies or argumentation behind it. And I hope you got some good notes from there. Yeah, but we will move on to a next bit. It's about pitching your CCI business idea to others. Yep, and a bit of theory about it. So, if you want to access finance, for example, like we spoke about last time, to grow your creative business, or whether you want to convince your customers to buy your creative product or service, you need to be able to present your business idea in a convincing way. And yeah, so a pitch is a presentation of your business idea. And this is something that's very common and known in the business arena in general, that every company should have a pitch ready, because you never know, with whom you'll end up, in a restaurant, waiting in a line, for example, and you would like to, if it's your ideal customer, for example, or someone who you would like to approach so that perhaps they would invest in you, or you never know when you're going to meet someone important, and you should be always ready to, in a concise, convincing way, tell them what you're doing, pitch your business idea. And in principle, your pitch, it should consist of these main elements that are listed here. So your pitch should say who you are. All right, letting them know who you are, because it builds trust, so that whomever you are introducing your business idea or your business model, that they understand who's behind it, right? Who's doing it, and whether they trust you or not. But so it's important to let them know who you are, and also play your strengths in a way that show why you are awesome, why you're doing this, and why you're going to do it really well. Then it's also important to let them know what is the problem that you're resolving with your creative idea. So this is something we worked with day before last time when we did this product development and spoke about the value proposition canvas, where there were the gains and pains and everything. So, you know, what is the problem that your potential customer has that you want to resolve? And then, of course, how you're going to resolve it. What is your creative solution idea? How you're going to resolve it? Because if you know, show and bring in the problem as well, then they, you know, it makes it more tangible for the listener, that they understand how it, you know, actually can help someone, that it's not, you know, just nice ideas or air and nothing else, but it's, you're actually, you know, doing something that someone needs. And also how to end up your pitch. It's an important part that sometimes people tend to forget. Your pitch should end with call to action. So at the end, tell them, you know, in a straight manner, what you need from them, you know, what you need to be able to take the next step with your creative business idea. For example, you tell them to invest in you, or use your service, or buy your creative product, or, you know, whatever you need in that moment, or whatever you want them to do next. So this is also something that is important. So the first, you let them know who you are, what's the problem you're going to resolve, how you're going to resolve it, and what you want them to do next. And there are different formats for pitches. Some are shorter, some are longer. The most common one, or you know, well-known, is an elevator pitch, which is sort of like 1 minute long, definitely not longer than 1 minute. And the name, the elevator pitch, it comes from the idea that if you enter a building somewhere, you go and take the elevator, you know, to ride somewhere, then this ride is you know, it's not longer than 1 minute usually, and you end up in the same elevator with a person, you know, with a potential investor, someone you would really like to you know, let know what you're doing, and perhaps, you know, get them to invest in your company, or some, you know, some influencer, for example, who you would like to cooperate, or, you know, someone important for you, and you get this golden opportunity that you're in the elevator together, you know, they cannot leave because the elevator is going. So you're stuck with them. It's a perfect opportunity to approach them in a way, but you have a very short time. So you should really know, you know, what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, so that it's convincing, and that you know, ideally get what you want. So this is the elevator pitch. Yeah, and there are tools that you can use when you start to create your own pitch for your own company. Here is a pitch canvas. Again, it has, you know, you can see a certain blocks here, which are sort of the topics that you could cover with your pitch, depending on how much time you have. If it's just 1 minute, or if it's 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, or 10, you can choose which parts to use. It also has, you know, guiding questions inside. So for example, again, you can see here the pain and gain. So sort of the problem that you're helping to resolve. What is your product? Why it's unique? Perhaps you can demo it, you know, show an example of it somehow, you know, show a short video or a photograph, or you have some testimonials about it. Yeah, your business model, you know, where the money comes from, you know, how it all comes together, that it's feasible, who's the team, you know, behind it. That's always very important, that investors are looking for, you know, the idea, but also who's going to deliver it, who's the people behind it, if they are, you know, if they're ambitious enough, if they, you know, have the skills, the knowledge, everything that they're gonna pull through the investment, you know, if that's something that you want, the customer traction, you know, to lure them in a way, to let them know what you know, already accomplished, for example, that you already, you know, won some creative competition, for example. Yeah, and then in the end, again, the call to action, what you want them to do next. And yeah, important thing is that your pitch cannot be boring, because you know yourself, if someone's gonna come to you, talk about something that they want to do, but it's boring and it's ongoing, and you're not gonna engage with it. So the pitch should be concise, short, engaging. Yeah, and this is a tool that you can use that may help you when creating your own pitch. Here are some important things to remember when you start to create your pitch about your creative idea company. So it really needs to be clear and thoughtful. You shouldn't use very complicated terms or words that perhaps not everyone knows or understands. To use this jargon, it's not a good idea. It should be clear. Also, it's critical to attract attention. So really think about it. How you're gonna grab this person's attention, what you're gonna say first, or how you're gonna say it. And yeah, it's also important to practice beforehand. It may sound perhaps, funny or strange to, for example, in the middle or in front of the mirror, to talk through your pitch to just, no one's listening, but you see how you're doing it to deliver it. But it's really important so that you know it really by heart. Because if you take the stage, once you start with your pitch, whether it's in the elevator with someone, or there are also pitching competitions where potential investors are listening to different companies pitching their ideas, and then those investors, they will choose which company they would like to invest in. It's really important that in that moment that that you come across confident, and also the time is limited, that you can't like and then that will not work. You should know it really by heart. So it's a really good idea to practice it before, because practice makes it perfect. Yeah, again, use the simple language so that everyone understands what you're saying. And yeah, to have this call to action in the end, what you want them to do next. It can also be, email us or come to our website, visit our website, or come to our physical store. It's located there. Come and see what we're doing. Yeah, so these are sort of the important things to keep in mind, that it's engaging, that you really know it well, that you use the simple language, and to have this call to action in the end so that they know what they should do next. And I would advise you to have sort of the same kind of approach when you do your final group presentation for this course. As you know, each group should prepare an engaging 10-minute presentation about your creative business idea. So really think through and ideally practice and prepare beforehand, so that when you start to cover those topics that are listed here, right, when you talk about the creativity skills and talent that you're using for this business idea, and what's the problem you're going to resolve, and what's your value proposition, what's your offer, how you're going to resolve it, and then also cover your business model canvas, that do it in really think about do it in an engaging way, so that it's clear, concise, understandable, but also that it attracts attention in a good way. Yeah, and you can you will have this, you have the slides, so you can use this canvas, this pitching canvas, for example, to help you to prepare the final presentation as well. And also, if you're interested in investor pitch at some point, perhaps with your creative company or business idea, then here's a link to a video, which is the 10 key elements of investor pitch. So you can take a look at it and yeah, if you start to prepare it at some point. So I think it's also an helpful tool for you. Yep, and then the last bit of theory, if I'm not mistaken, for today is we'll talk about scaling and exporting in the CCI, and why to do it. Sort of, it's about distributing your creative product or service to more customers, to reach more customers, to grow. And yeah, first we're gonna talk about scaling a creative business and some aspects related to it, what it is. So when we talk about scaling a business, then it means sort of setting the stage to enable and support growth in the CCI company, right? So making sure that your company is actually ready to grow. So it means having the ability to grow, but do it without being hampered, right? So it requires planning, of course, some funding, the right systems, staff, processes, technology, and partners. So it's, setting the scene, setting the stage, making sure that all the pieces, are fit and there to start to grow your business. And this is also one of the characteristics of the CCI, that CCI companies, because as you know, they are really small, that it's often 1-2 people, that they struggle with scaling, that it's a struggle for them to scale. Because they are small, the companies are small, there are few people, and also often the production, it may demand specific creative skills that only few people have. So how do you scale it? If at some point you need to, you're able to make, for example, earrings, you can make 10 pieces a day, but then you would like to scale, grow bigger, suddenly you need perhaps 100 to make 100 earrings a day. How you're gonna achieve that? If only you have the skills, so you need to think about it. If you're gonna hire someone and teach them your skills, so it takes time that you have to invest, or find some partner who have the same skills, and maybe together you can produce more. So it's about, the scaling is about thinking all these aspects. If you get more clients, whether you're able to service them all. Yep. So when we think about scaling, growing your creative business, so it's important to know if your business has the capacity to grow, or you should change something, get more people, hire more people, or get more skills. And will your production pipeline that we spoke about last time, also, all the activities you need to take, the infrastructure that you have, the team that you have, are they able to accommodate growth? Right, so that if you get more orders, suddenly more people start to approach you, want to buy from you. Are you able to service them all? So yeah, when you start to scale your creative business, here are some good things to keep in mind and think about. So you should focus on not where you are at the moment, but rather where you want to get, what you want to achieve, the goal in the future, where you want to get. I have, for example, I have 10 clients at the moment, but I would like to have 100, right? So picture this, where you want to get, what you want to achieve. Also be prepared. So when you manage to increase your sales, more people come and buy from you, you also have to be able to deliver to all those new customers that I've said quite a few times by now already. So this is really something to think about beforehand, because once you have already, at one day you have like 100 people coming, I want to buy from you, and you're not ready for it, and what you're going to do, you're going to lose customers, it's bad for your reputation and so on. But also, I think it's important that when you do grow, when you scale your business, then it's important to protect your business values, right? The core of your business, who you are and what you do and what you do not do and what you value. So stay true to who you are, even if you grow bigger, because it helps you to get to where you are, because this is the core of your business. This is who you are. You shouldn't change it. Yep. So build a great team or find good cooperation partners. As I said, if you need to hire someone, if you need to train someone new to be able to service all the new clients, or you're gonna find a partner who can help you with it. Never compromise on quality, even if you have more orders coming in, that you're going to somehow do it faster and cheaper, or the quality goes down, that in the end it will also hinder you. It's not good. Yeah, and in general, think about possible barriers, all kinds of barriers that may appear when you start to scale up, and really be honest and pragmatic, because then this really helps you. If you see the potential barriers that may appear, then you can already think about them in advance and find the solutions to them. Yep, and also one thing I think is very important to keep in mind, that you're going to make mistakes. Most of us are. It's really inevitable in some ways, that when you do something new, right? Also, when you grow, you do something new. Your company haven't been so big. You're bound to make some mistakes, but it's it's okay, it's all right, as long as you keep in mind that you analyze what happened, why it happened, what went wrong, so that you understand why this happened. Then learn from it, understand what went wrong, learn from it, get better, and try not to repeat the same mistake, exactly the same mistake again, that you rather learn from it and get better and stronger. And then export in the CCI. So once you're ready to grow, you've dealt with the scaling part, you set the stage, the scene, you know who you're gonna hire, the new team members. Perhaps you need a bigger store or a warehouse or whatever, where to keep your equipment, for example, and so on. So what will happen once you grow. And then you can think about export, meaning selling your goods and services in other countries, that you make them, for example, in Estonia, in one country, and Estonia is your domestic market, your home market. But then again, Estonia is not the biggest, because there are 1.3 million people here. So it may make sense to expand to other countries as well. So you start to export, you start to sell to in other countries as well. And yeah, when we think about creative companies, the CCI companies, then yeah, they may need to export to reach more customers, because especially in Estonia, the home market is small. You may not have enough people here who want to buy your creative product, and especially when you have a niche product. As I said before, this pink designed glass bottle. If you think about it, then in Estonia there may not be that many people who want to buy it, so that you get enough money from them to keep your company operating. So you may need to find another countries and other markets, people from another places who want to buy your pink bottle. So yeah, it really makes sense with a niche product, because there are people, there are a lot of people, billions of people. You just have to find the right market for you. So when we think about exporting, so how can exporting help CCI companies, the creative companies? So you can extend the sales of your existing creative products and services by finding new markets to sell them in. What I just told you, right? You sell to another countries, people who lives outside of Estonia as well. You can also reduce dependence on the market you have developed in your home country, meaning in Estonia, you have loyal customers here to whom you are selling, but in a way you're also dependent on them. If one day they decide that they do not want to buy your what you offer anymore, or financial situation changes and they do not have money enough, for example, to buy your what you offer. So you're really dependent on one market, on one group of customers. But when you find your customers from another countries as well somewhere, then it helps you to mitigate the risks that you're not so dependent on this one market anymore. So it reduces your dependence. And also depends what you're offering. But if your creative business is affected by the seasonal changes or demand cycles, then exporting also helps. For example, like I have here the example that, for example, you design and sell warm knits, jumpers or whatever that customers can only buy during the cold seasons, because it makes sense only to wear them because they are so warm. So you wear them during winter rather, right? You will not wear them during the summer. So what will you do during the summer? You still need to sell something, right? So it makes sense to, for example, across the globe, whereas when here is summer, there is winter at that time. So perhaps you can sell there more during the summer here, so that you have options. You can balance in this way, right? And once you start to create an export strategy, because it's always good to have strategies meaning that you think ahead, right? To plan ahead, because it saves you time and money. So once you start to create an export strategy, then think about how you're going to choose the countries, the new countries where you want to sell. And you should not do it randomly. You should have some criteria, some thought out plan how you're gonna choose those countries. And often it doesn't make sense to export to the closest country, in Estonia, for example, to Latvia, because it's so close. But it should rather be about the market, because, it's so close, but if no one wants there what you're offering, then, it doesn't make sense. It's close to take your things there, but if no one buys, then it doesn't help anyone. So you should choose the countries based on in more analysis or in more depth. So also think about how you're going to enter those countries, these new markets. For example, I've been helping different film companies or companies operating within the film sector and help them prepare their export strategy and export plans. And from there, I'm learned that from the industry inside that they feel that it's important to be present in those industry events during film festivals. For example, it's a very specific channel or way to start export. So you should really know how you're going to enter within your what you're doing within your subsector, whether it's books or design or film or music or whatever. You should understand how the processes are going on there, how it's operating, so you should know where you should be at what time, so that you can get the new contacts, so that you can start to sell in other countries as well. Whether it's industry events, some fairs, book fairs, or whatever. And then also think about how you're going to sell that once you get the opportunity to sell in some other country as well, what channels you're going to use them. If you're gonna build your own store, for example, or your own office there, or you're gonna use some partner who's distributing what you're doing. So think it through also, like how you're going to sell there. Okay, and now again, to end with this export part, I have a video again about Tanel Veer and his experience with Chinese market, but I can see it's all, again, the break is coming up, and I think the video is longer than 5 minutes. So maybe we can again take a break now and then watch the video after the break. But is it okay with you if we take a 10-minute break this time? Not 15 minutes, but 10 minutes, so that we start again 5 minutes past 2. No one says no, so I hope it's okay. So we will have a little break and start 5 minutes past 2. Maybe we can end a bit earlier as well then. Okay, but see you in 5 minutes past 2. Okay, so it's 5 minutes past 2. So let's continue and watch a video about Tanel Veenre's experience with the Chinese market. Let me again change my screen, what I'm sharing with you. And yep, let's hear about China.
And I mean, the last chapter, I think it is about the China. I'm so excited about it. It's super difficult, but we are the first Estonian brand probably who has their own company in China, not just like someone who is selling our things. We first had like 4 shops there who were selling our stuff, but now we have our own company there. We have built up our social media. We have our Taobao shop. So like every day it's a contracts, and I mean, it's a Mars. It's so different from any other experience. And it started off with lucky chance. We just had like super peak celebrity in China buying my stuff. I didn't know it. I just saw like people were starting to buy. And I mean, after that, she has been buying a lot. I never reach her. I want to send her everything I have, but it's not possible because she has this army of agents in between. I mean, China is like, I mean, it's a huge universe. It's like they're like mega stars there. So, but it is very hierarchical society, and also the consumption is very much influencer based. So they really want to copy the big names, big style icons. So yeah, she has been great help. And I mean, we started to build up the community there, and working now more strategically, like KOCs, KOLs, which are like influencers in China. They call it differently. So yeah, and the quality there is so high. You have to really, your product has to be flawless. More than like 95% of Chinese clients leave a review. So it's a huge risk. Don't start with China if you are not secure what you do, and you have like the whole process has to be really like well thought. I mean, just like even the random influencers, they create like the photo shoots, which can be like in a Vogue magazine. So yeah, the export has been really rising over the years. It's still like not more than 10%. It's even less right now because the home market is still the main. But yeah, China, I think next month I'm kicking off really essentially. So in a year, I guess my prediction is like we are going to raise the like really maybe 300% the sales there. So it will be the same amount as a home market. Yeah, we started up with a new, we first created our own online store there, but we discovered no one goes in China to online stores. They only shop in a huge online shopping malls like Taobao or Tmall. Like it's kind of AliExpress for a business client model. So yeah, you have to get there, but of course you have to have your company there to get, and you have to have your Chinese phone number, bank account, which is a huge trouble because China is about bureaucracy. But yeah, now after 2 years, we have succeeded, and I really suggest everyone to take this journey when they feel confident enough with the product. Because after all my export experiences in different countries, we have tried in, I don't know, Sweden, Germany, Italy, Latvia, Finland. I would say like it's the only market which actually could pay you back. I think the other markets, you just like kind of get lost there, and you get, I mean, the deals are, at least in my sector, I mean, you work so hard to get the deal, and then the deal is worth, I mean, they buy like 30 pairs, 50 pairs. I mean, you earn 800 euros, 1,000 euros. I mean, it's nonsense. Your working hours, which you put there, it's more. They cost more than this deal. So yeah, building up the social media there. Really, I have two Chinese people working for me who are living in Estonia. So they everyday basis they work with a Chinese market. Yeah, we try to get our story there. Of course, faking is a huge topic, but I don't care much, to be honest. I take it as a compliment, and you can even see like how much they're selling. Like so, yeah. They sell 100 pairs. I sell maybe 5 pairs in the same time, and I'm happy to sell my 5 pairs. So I take it, and they are really poor, like still they haven't figured out actually how I make them, so they are really plastic and they don't look very good.
Mm-hmm. This was a bit about China and Chinese market. Okay, and now it's time for me to stop talking and you too, and you get the opportunity to update your business models that you started working on previous times, and do the group work. So based on everything that you heard and learned today, I would like you to update your business models. Think about the digitalization that we spoke about, and think through how and if it affects your business model somehow. Also think about your marketing strategy. You heard how Tanel Veenre is doing it, so try to also get creative and think about what you could be doing for your creative company, and also think about scaling and export. And to do this, there's again a worksheet. I will show it to you. Let me find it, and then I will share it with you. So I hope you can see the worksheet now. Just as a reminder, it has this business model canvas at the beginning so that you remember all the blocks and everything. But of course, I would suggest you to use or take a look at what you did last time as well. But just as a reminder, it's here. And then, about the digitalization. So answer the question here. So which parts of your business model the digitalization affects, and also how? So for example, are your customers used to digital platforms? So perhaps you should be there as well. Or can you use the digital crowdfunding platforms for financing? So this, influences this part or here, or think it through, like where these new digital options influence your business model, and you can put your ideas here. So the next one is about your marketing and your marketing strategy overview. So it's more to do with the desirability part of the business model canvas, which is to do with your customer relationships, the channels, your value proposition. So this part here. And right here, what makes your product or service unique? Your unique selling proposition is this USP. If you see it in the future as well, then you know that this USP, it means unique selling proposition, something that's makes your product unique, why people should buy it. And again, as a hint here, or guidelines, so why should people buy your product or service? And again, think about your value proposition. It sort of should you should get it from there. What kind of problem you help to resolve, and how, and why you. Then what are your marketing goals? Why do you need to market? What do you want to achieve? That it's not just that everyone's doing it, you have to do it, you have to market it, but really think through how it makes sense for your business idea, what you want to do, and what is your goal, why you want to market. If you want to reach some new audiences, or so think it through, more strategically. What are your goals? What you want to achieve? Like, after a year, for example, or after 5 years, where you want to be. And then who is your customer? Describe them. And this means, creating your customer persona. Again, if you see this term somewhere, this customer persona, it's, describing in depth who is your customer, to understand them better. There are different tools, also canvases, created for it, where you can put in the information about your customer, But basically, it's understanding your customer in depth, because it helps you to create, for example, marketing strategy for them. You know, because if you know where they live, where they go, what they like to do, how old they are, then it makes it easier for you to reach them. You know where your customer is, and you know what they like, and how to, you know, get to them. Then think about which marketing channels you're going to use, and again, why. Just don't just list, you know, all of them, just social media, but also think about, you know, why does it make sense for you, you know, and also think about what Tanel Veenre said, how he's approaching. So, you know, be creative in that regard. So then it, you know, brings the results in the end. And then about the scaling and export. So think through what do you need to consider before growing your company and why. Again, like we spoke about, if you need a bigger team to service more customers, or you need new partners, or, you know, just some ideas, talk it through amongst yourself. Do you need to export? Why? You know, if you have a niche product, for example, or Estonian market is too small, or, you know, whatever reasons make sense for your business idea. And then lastly, try to come up sort of at least some points for when choosing your possible export markets. What is the criteria? You know, what characteristics your potential export market should have? You know, for example, you should have people with certain who value certain lifetimes. You know, if they're very eco-conscious, you know, maybe then Germany makes sense because the eco-consciousness is, you know, on a higher level amongst the population there. Or if there's a certain level of competition already in the market, if there's someone who's doing something similar to you, because it can be a disadvantage, but it can be also an advantage, meaning that there's already market there. Because if you go with a totally new thing that no one understands what it is, they've never seen it before, then it means you have to work harder, you know, to create the market, to let your customers know what it is exactly what you're doing. So perhaps it makes sense to choose a foreign market where something like you're offering is already there, so that the customers understand what you're doing, you know, the size or the environment and so on. Just, you know, some keywords or some ideas how you should choose the markets or the countries where to go. And then after you've so the main thing is that you discuss amongst your group, you know, come up with those ideas. You can make notes here, put it down here. And then after that, there's again a slide you can fill out, and the slide is you should put here, you know, in a very concise manner. What is your goal for marketing? What do you want to achieve? Our marketing goal is to, you know, what you want to get or do or, you know, achieve. And then also here put some characteristics when you're going to choose your export markets, you know, what they should be, what I just covered, you know, if there should be some certain lifestyle present there, or the size of the market, or, you know, so on. And, it, you know, 3 is more than enough, or, you know, so just, fill out the slide. But what you do here with the worksheet, it should also reflect in your final presentation, you know, the results of your today's discussions when filling out the worksheet. It should also reflect in your final presentation that, you know, that your business, so that we can see that your business model sort of has a new layer, that you've gone in depth, you know, with those topics a bit more. Okay, so I hope it makes sense. I will open the breakout rooms here. So you can work here with your group, or if you choose to work in using some other channels, then you're free to do it. I will put the links here. So first of all, the worksheets. Okay, let's do it like this. Okay, so here's the link to there's a link to the worksheets, and also I will put for the we can find the slides. There's a question. I was absent last lesson. Should I pick up a new group? If you do not have a group to work with, then yeah, you can choose some other group and join them. We'll put here also the link to the groups. Oops. So from this link, you can see all the groups, and if you don't have a group, then you can choose one from there. We sort of have open doors policy. Okay. Yep, I think I put everything here. You have access to everything you need. So I will open the breakout rooms. You can join the breakout room yourself, or if you have troubles, you can ask me to help. And I would say you have again until 3 o'clock, and then we will do a quick feedback round, and then we are done for today. There's group 11 is missing from PowerPoint. Yeah, I will fix it. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, and I will start to let you into your breakout rooms. Sorry, I'm a bit slow today. Okay. And I will be here, so you can always come and ask if you have any questions.
Hello, I have a question.
Yes, I'm here.
So, with the first question, can you use digital crowdfunding platforms? I guess I understand what is crowdfunding, but what do you mean by like crowdfunding platforms?
Well, like websites, where they are, because they're usually online, right? Like the Kickstarter. So the platform just means like a website, like a web platform.
So a web platform, like for example, our company needs a financing to like get started. So we go to that like website and ask money. Do I get it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So basically you can do that.
Yeah.
But you have to like pitch your idea and give more like information about your product or service there.
Yes, you can check the Kickstarter. I think it's kickstarter.com. It's one of those platforms. Let me see if I can put it here in the chat. So you can, sort of see and what they want and how it operates a bit more.
Okay, I will search that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Olen siin.
Ma tahtsin küsida, et kas saaks Drive'i linki nendele eelmistele sheetidele ka, sest et mul on need kadunud, et mul on ainult see
Jaa, muidugi.
või tervel meie tiimil on kadunud.
Jaa, muidugi.
Okay. Te võite siia saate.
Ma panen siia chati. Kohe otsin.
aitäh, Saimed!
Väga tore. So in some seconds, all the breakout rooms will close, and then we'll do a quick feedback round on what you came up with. Like 10 more seconds. And then everyone should be back here. Okay. So now all the breakout rooms have closed, and let me change what I'm sharing with you, and let's do a quick feedback round. I saw that at some point someone changed the design or the layout of the slides, but it's okay. Okay, so first group, you have even a thematic illustration here. So the first group, Nowl. Our marketing goal is to, in 5 years, our goal is to have 1,000 students per year. Also, we need to inform people about our new idea platform. We want our name on a bigger picture that would be beneficial in resumes. Yes, that's very good. That's very well thought out, and it's very, tailored for your needs. So you know exactly what you're gonna market. That's very good. And when we think about export, so what are the characteristics that you would like your export market to have? Desire for lifelong learning. Okay, so in the population or in the country there, it should be present. That lifelong learning is cherished. Interests in marketing, photography, and writing. Okay, again, I guess that the target market should be there who has these kind of interests. And developed countries located close to us, at first Scandinavian countries. Okay, it makes sense. Yeah, I can see you've thought it through, and this is already much more, specific. When you're gonna choose which countries you're gonna go to, because it's always, the export is always, related to investments or funds. So you need to spend money, and then so you need to know where you're going and why. Very nice, thank you. So the second group. Our marketing goal is to build a trustworthy management company that offers a good quality experience for our clients. Okay, yeah, it says sort of, yeah, we understand like why you want to market. So you want to build the image of the company that it's trustworthy and the customers would use it. And about export, what characteristics export markets should have? Trustworthy, hardworking team, quality over quantity. I guess it's perhaps more about to do with you, I guess, your company than the market. Because the hardworking team, I guess it's your team. It's more about the scaling, or being ready for. It seems, at least from here, for export and scaling. So I think it looks like these relate to your company, not so much for the market, the export market, where you need to go. But it's a good start. I guess you can, think about the export market later. Third group. Our marketing goal is to influence people to live a healthier and more sustainable lifestyle by using our Reeboxes. Yeah, very good. So you have a bigger goal, to influence people, to be influencer yourself in a way, and also, for them to use your product. It's very nice, and to have the illustration here. Very good. And characteristics our possible export markets should have: value a sustainable lifestyle. Yeah, I guess the target market there, right, should value the sustainable lifestyle. A welfare state which provides consumers with a competitive wage. Yeah, okay, so you need to have a market where people can, pay, that they have the means to buy your product. And also population should have more people in ages 20 to 40. Yeah, okay, I guess this is your target market. So you want to reach 20 to 40-year-olds. So it makes sense that they're present there, that it's, maybe not so aging content. So yeah, it's very well thought through. I can see, it's customized for your business idea. It's very nice. Thank you. Oh, little heart. Group 4. So your marketing goal is to reach a wider range of people on different platforms, online and offline, and therefore gain popularity and solid customer base. Okay, yeah. So you want to work with the image or the brand image to gain popularity and through that get more customers. Okay. Characteristics our possible export markets should have. Bigger city, have an existing club culture. Okay, so yeah, the country should have the bigger cities where this club culture is present. Vanguardist people and students, very good. Established art, culture, lifestyle. Okay, very good. Yeah, it's I can see from here again, you really tailored it for your business idea and for your needs. It makes sense. Good, thank you. So the 5th group, our marketing goal is to reach as many parents we can, and also to improve popularity of our brand. Yeah, I guess it makes sense, as I guess parents are your main target audience, so to whom you want to sell. So yeah, you want to reach as many of them as possible, and also to work with your brand image. And characteristics our possible export markets should have. Cities with big popularity. Yeah, so I guess you want to have a lot of cities with big popularity. I guess population perhaps, so that you want many people to be present there who can, potential customers who can buy from you. People who value a sustainable lifestyle. Environmentally friendly. Yeah, I guess the whole sort of approach or values within the society there, that it's environmentally friendly, the approach. Good, thank you. So the 6th group, our marketing goal is to reach as many freelancers as we can and connect them to landlords. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. So it's tailored to your business idea. So it's crucial or important for you. Characteristics our possible export markets should have. Multilingual. Okay, yeah, very good. Large youth community. Very good. Active cultural life. Yeah, very good. Again, I can see it's very tailored to your needs. So it's a very good start to look for export markets or to choose them. Very good. Thank you. So 7th group, our marketing goal is to make our platform desired and essential for people, to reach a wide audience and solve the problems for our customers. Okay. Yeah, I guess it makes sense, yeah, to reach your potential customers and also to create the image of your platform that it's known and desired. And characteristics or possible export markets should have. Yeah, I can see it's to be continued, but the first one is here. People whose appearance is important to them. Okay, yeah, it's rather tailored. So yeah, when you start to choose it, then you know what you're looking for or what you need. Yeah, and then you can continue with them later. Okay, 8th group. Our marketing goal, it's very nice, the color and the illustration. Our marketing goal is to offer people virtual wedding through virtual reality, VR, and let guests come together all over the world. Wow, I can really see you took this digitalization to a next level and implemented it on your business model. That's very nice. That's very good. So characteristics our possible export markets should have. Fast delivery, high quality, opportunity to send good and gentle things. Yeah, I guess it's again more to do a bit with your own company and how you deliver what you offer. Not so much about characteristics of the market, like what you're looking for in a foreign country. For example, if there should be, you know, for example, within the population, there's a lot of people who have divorced, who perhaps, you know, are your potential customers if they start to marry again, or, you know, it's perhaps a bit stupid, but yeah, so something about, you know, the markets. But it's a solid start. Thank you. So the 9th group, our marketing goal is to build brand awareness and increase brand engagement, have a product the customer would like to be seen in. Okay. Yeah, it's a solid, straightforward, yeah, to build your brand and also to get people to, or customers to engage with it. Yeah, and the characteristics are possible export markets should have. Curiosity, wanderlust, flexibility. Okay, I guess perhaps the target audience there, or who would use your offer, that they should be curious and wanderlust and flexible, perhaps, or it's a bit hard to understand at the moment, but you can detail it, and yeah, it's okay then. Okay, so 10th group. Ooh, the illustrations, everything. SoundMate app. Okay, sounds very nice. Our marketing goal is to reach as many artists, songwriters there is. Our product is actually the service, so we really cannot export anything, but we can expand our area outside of Estonia. Okay, when we have our app up and running, we are planning on expanding. Yep, very good. You already think about ahead, and you know really what's relatable and makes sense for your business model, and what's not. It's very good. Digging deeper into it. And characteristics you put here, put your possible export markets. Value various type of music. Yeah, so the people there, professional musicians should be present there. Okay, active music landscape. Very good. Value co-working. Okay, yeah, so in society it's valued, the co-working, it's good. Yeah, very nice, very well done, thank you. 11th group, our marketing goal is to reach our target audience and communicate the benefits of our service so we can keep and grow our customer base. Okay, yeah, straightforward. So you want to build your customer base and also let the target audience know what your service does and why it's good. Okay, and characteristics our possible export market should have. Okay, so local people should be interested in certain kind of arts and creative projects that we would be able to offer. Okay. In some way similar culture and technological background, so that the possibility of a successful collaboration would be higher. Very good. If there are countries where the CCI area isn't that popular, it could be a good opportunity for our agency to expand to that country. But firstly, we should have to do research if there are even people in this specific country who would like to participate in the CCI, definitely. Then we discuss the opportunities with our members of the board. Yeah, it's very well thought through and very detailed already. So yeah, you really know what you're looking for, what you would like to avoid, you know, what should be there and what should be the next steps, you know, what to research further and so on. It's very good, thank you. This is our cosmically awesome logo. Very good, very nice. Japes Creative Unleashed, very good. So 11th group, our marketing goal is to spreading word of our services and portfolio to attract customers and achieve recognition and trust. Very good. Recognition in local creative competitions like Kuldmuna could help us gain trust and respect, which will attract more customers. Yes, definitely this trust building, yeah, that you're trustworthy, right? Because someone else in the competition said that, yes, they can do what they're doing. Very good, yeah, it's a good approach. Okay, and the characteristics our possible export market should have. Small but impactful, okay. Uniqueness is key to being recognized, open-mindedness and involving, supporting Western multiculturality, value, similarity. Okay, yeah, so I can see also that you really thought about it from the angle or from the perspective of your business model and idea, and then what in more detail what makes sense and what you need and so on. Good. Ooh, puiduverask, very nice with all the illustrations and color. So our marketing goal is to achieve an increase in people buying reusable and eco-friendly products, starting with our notebooks. Yes, very good. So, again, you have like this bigger goal that you want to influence the behavior of your customers, as well as, market your own product to them. It's very nice. Characteristics our possible export market should have. People value ecological lifestyle. Okay, yeah, so this should be present there. People value uniqueness. People who love to creatively express themselves. Yes, I guess these are the key things that you really need the market to have present. So then it makes sense for you to consider whether you would like to start to export there or not. Good, yeah, it's again, it's detailed and based on your business model. Thank you. 14th group with all the people. Our marketing goal is to find introverted new artists who need help from experts to finalize their art. Yes, very good. It's very tailored to your business idea. That's very good. You already know who you're going to target and why. It's good. Characteristics our possible export market should have. Professional experts in some artistic field who can be mentors for new artists. Yeah, very good. I understand it's an important part of your value proposition to have those professional experts local, I guess, present, available all over the world. Personalized promotion based on the artists and their artistic output, music art, visual art. Yeah, I guess this is something you're gonna do there. Good. It's a solid start. And the 15th group didn't make it here. I'm not sure if we have group 15 because often their slide is not here. We'll see in the end. Okay. Very good. Thank you. It was very nicely done. I hope it was beneficial for you also and interesting that you were inspired by others, how others are doing it, and also to discuss and think about your own business model and idea further. So thank you. These are all the topics for today. We've covered them. I will think about the next week because it is this different kind of week for you, how exactly we're going to do it, if we're going to have a seminar or perhaps if I pre-record it in advance and you can take a look at it, when you don't have exams or when it's more convenient to you. I will think about it, discuss with the study department, and we'll let you know how we're going to do it next week. And the week after next week, it's already the final presentation. So we have only one more seminar left before your final presentations. Can we do our final presentation in Estonian while all of our group members are Estonians? I guess if it's hard for you to do it in English, if it would be a struggle for you, then we can have this kind of exception. But I think in general they should be in English because other groups or other students should also give feedback to you, and if they do not understand when you do it in Estonian, then it's hard for them to give feedback. So if possible, try to do it in English, but if it's it's really a struggle for you, then I guess we can make one exception. Okay. Yeah, but this is all for today. I will let you know about the next time how it's gonna be, if it's gonna be a regular seminar or somehow different. And yeah, thank you for today and see you.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.